Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, 10 before the end. Here are 10 books I want to read before the end of the year. So this is a concept that MJ from the channel Reading This Life came up with as part of the Read What You Own challenge. Come up with a list of 10 books you want to get to before the end of the year. So I've got 10 books here. They're none of them are part of my November TBR. None of them are part of any of the ongoing challenges I'm doing. I've literally just browsed my shelves and picked 10 books that I've owned. Some of these I've owned for a while that I really am excited to read. And that's the wonderful thing about doing the Read What You Own challenge, is that sense of being able to shop your shelves, about not thinking about books you've seen online or books you've heard about, thinking about books you've already got, looking at those books, getting excited about them and then reading them. So I've got 10 of those for you today. As you might expect from me, these are pretty much all crime or horror. There's one that is more in the kind of pulp vein, I guess, but yeah, definitely heavily weighted towards crime and horror. So if you're a crime or horror fan, hopefully you will see something here to excite you. So without further ado, let me go through them. I would also say most of these books are kind of on the shorter side. That tends to be my approach with the Read What You Own challenge in order to get through it, and I've got more than enough books to pick from, more than enough unread books on my shelves to pick books that are shorter rather than longer without really hampering my my options much at all. I would also say I've deliberately gone with physical books rather than digital books, just because it's a bit more fun for the video, isn't it? Right, so first up then we have Better Living Through Bloodshed by Zachary von Hauser. Whoops, a bookmark just fell out of it. So you may remember I read, when did I read it? Was it in September? I think it was in September. I read two novellas by Zachary von Hauser, The Long Shift and The Shuffling Night, and really enjoyed both. So very much looking forward to reading this. This looks like it's more of a crime novel than a horror novel, but I suspect there'll be a bit of horror in here as well. And what a fantastic cover and a fantastic size. I love the size of this book. I will hold up the next book, which will spoil what the next book is, but just to give you a sense of how adorably cute this book is, it's really a very nice pocketable size. Okay, moving on then to the next book, which I've already shown you. So Psycho 2 by Robert Bloch. Now I'm pretty sure I read this back in the 80s. Let's see when it came out. This copy feels in danger of falling apart, actually. So yeah, so it came out in 1982. I'm fairly sure I read it as a teenager, but I don't remember anything about it. I've read Psycho a couple of times actually since starting the channel. So I read it in the fairly early days of the channel and did a review of it then, and then it was also a pick for the CriminOlly book club recently, so I reread it then and really enjoyed it. It's such a great book, so I'm really keen to see what Robert Bloch does with his sequel. I think it's very different from the movie sequel, although I'm not entirely sure, and I haven't seen the movie sequel since back in the 80s either, so maybe I will try and track down a copy of that and watch that as well. But really looking forward to it, and what a fantastically trashy 80s cover that is as well. Okay, moving on then. This is a book that was sent to me by one of my viewers, Pom Mum, a while ago. It's a book I'd heard of and I really like the sound of. It's a kind of suspense horror type story set in a theme park. I love theme park settings. The back says 14 competitors, 7 days, everywhere to hide but nowhere to run. Come out wherever you are. So it looks really great. I think it's a well, let me read you the blurb. Oh, and look at that as well. I've forgotten that. Look, lovely map of the theme park that it's set in there. I do like a nice map in a book. And not being a fan particularly of fantasy books, you don't get that many good maps in non-fantasy books, so nice to have that. Right, let me read you the blurb. The challenge: spend a week hiding in an abandoned amusement park and don't get caught. The prize: enough money to change everything. Even though everyone is desperate to win, to seize their dream future or escape their haunting past, Mac feels sure that she can beat her competitors. All she has to do is hide, and she's an expert at that. It's the reason she's alive and her family isn't. but as the people around her begin disappearing one by one, Mac realizes this competition is more sinister than even she imagined, and that together might be the only way to survive. That does sound a lot of fun. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. Next up, I've had this one for quite a long time. It's a book I've been meaning to read for years. It's Crawlspace by Herbert Lieberman. Now, I for years, I think, was labouring under the misconception that this is the same story as the movie Crawlspace, which has Klaus Kinski in it. I don't believe that's the case, actually. I think it is a different story. But let me read you the blurb. It's very short and it does sound really good. A chilling story of fear and obsession. Alice and Albert Graves retired to the country to seek some peace. Then one day someone else came into their lives. A young man whose visit to the house seemed a matter of no real importance. But from that moment, nothing was ever the same. So I've got a few books by Herbert Lieberman. I've never read him. But yeah, I think this is probably his best known book. So I'm going to start with this one. And if I enjoy this, I've got 2 or 3 more that I can give a go to. Okay, next up, one that I picked up in a recent book haul by one of my favourite authors, and it's a collection of her short stories, and I haven't read any of her short stories. I don't think, unless maybe I've read one in like an anthology or something like that. So it is Little Tales of Misogyny by Patricia Highsmith. So you'll remember, like last year and the year before, I did a read-through with Anne from the channel and Novella of all of Patricia Highsmith's novels. We didn't get to the short story collections. We kind of half planned to do that at the end, but then never actually got around to it. So I found this super cheap the other day. So really looking forward to reading it. And it's a fantastic book, I have to say, for Read What You Add as well, if you're doing a book-based challenge rather than a page-based challenge, because it is 135 pages and the print is huge. So I think it's going to take me like 2 hours probably to read this. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this. I'm really keen to see how Highsmith does short stories, because her novels tend to be really slow burn, and obviously you can't really do that in a short story. Okay, next up, this one, how did I get this? Oh, this one I think I got from I got it from Abominable. So Abominable were doing a thing where they had like, let me start that again. So Abominable Book Club, which is always difficult to say, is a UK-based subscription service, like book subscription service, which is fantastic. I used to subscribe to it, but I stopped doing that because I ended up getting books that had already been sent to me by publishers. But a while ago they had like a really good sale where they were selling like random books that they had overstock of, and the prices were excellent. So I picked up, I said, yeah, send me some books, and this is one of the ones they sent me, and it's supposed to be really good. I've heard great things about this. It's Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod. Clay McLeod Chapman. Oh gosh, why can I not speak? Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman, with a nice little signed book plate as well. I won't read you the blurb on this one because it's really long, but I think it taps into current American politics and things like that, and it's about a Fox News style TV channel which is rotting people's brains basically. So yeah, looking forward to that. Next up, one I picked up in a charity shop a little while ago by an author who I kind of always remember being vaguely aware of but have never read. So the author is Leo Kessler and the book is Hellfire. So Kessler is a pseudonym. I forget now the guy's real name, but very prolific. Wrote a bunch of these kind of slightly exploitative war novels that I think were inspired by the success of the similar books by Sven Hassel. So let me read you the blurb of this one. It does sound fun. World War II is almost at an end. SS Colonel Schirmer's elite hunting commando has seen its last skirmish, but for some, the fighting will never stop, and Schirmer has no place to hide. Swept into the burning desert battlefields of French North Africa, he is forced to join the Foreign Legion. But first, with the shattered remnant of Assault Regiment Wotan, he must carry out one final extraordinary raid behind Russian lines, and then learn to march or die. So hopefully I'll enjoy this. If I do, I will definitely be picking up some more Leo Kessler. They have great titles like Claws of Steel, The Devil's Shield, Hammer of the Gods, and Blood and Ice. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Next, a series that I've been reading since the reasonably early days of the channel, but I've still only read the first 2 books. I've got all of them now. You may, if you're really, really attentive, you may have been able to figure out that this is one of the books that I'm going to show in this video, because it's normally behind me, it's normally visible. Anyway, it's the 3rd book in the Jack Caffrey series by Mo Hayder, which is Ritual. So I've read the first 2, Birdman and The Treatment, both of which were absolutely phenomenal. Really great psychological kind of serial killer style thrillers, really gripping, really grisly, unbearably intense at times. So I'm really, really looking forward to this, and I've got the whole series of them now. I picked up a few that I didn't have in a charity shop a little while ago. So a bit thicker than the other books. It's over 500 pages, but I've always found these books are ones that I just fly through. They are unputdownable, to use an overused phrase. They really are great. So British kind of procedural type serial killer books, written in the early 2000s, I think, typically. Yeah, this one came out in 2008. The first one is set around like at the very start of the new millennium, and really captures what London felt like back then. So yeah, a fantastic series of books so far, at least, and I've heard from people on my Discord that it continues being fantastic. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Mo Hayder sadly died a few years ago, around the same time I started the channel, actually. So yeah, she died very young, and a tragedy, because she was a really, really great writer. Okay, next up then, a book that was sent to me by Heidi, one of my viewers, which I've been meaning to read for ages, The Bottoms by Joe R Lansdale. So I've enjoyed everything I've read by Lansdale. This is a standalone rather than one of his Hap Leonard books, but a crime mystery type novel, I think. Let me read you the blurb of this one. Way back before the bottoms were drained during the Great Depression that transformed deep East Texas, a boy could hear the crickets and the frogs in the riverbed, and under the star-studded southern night he could find things darker than the murky waters. When young Harry Collins discovers a black woman's body mutilated and bound to a tree with barbed wire, he unleashes a storm of dread. With his younger sister, they fix their suspicions on the legendary horror called the Goat Man, who locals say lurks beneath the swinging bridge that crosses the Sabine River. More real than any child could ever imagine, the creature holds the key to a string of brutal and confounding murders and a chilling truth scarcely glimpsed beyond the thick woods and tornado-ripe skies. Lansdale always does a fantastic job of depicting Texas. Well, I assume he does anyway. I've only been to Texas for a weekend, and that was in Austin, which is a very different part of Texas than Lansdale normally describes. But I'm assuming he does. He definitely feels like he gives a good representation of Texas. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. And then finally, a book I picked up a little while ago, a new horror short story collection by a new British horror author, Vanessa Santos. So this is Make a Home of Me, which has had really good reviews. I've seen a few people praise this one. So yeah, a nicely short, 140 odd pages. Yeah, decent collection of short stories, and supposed to be very good. I think there's about 8 stories in here. So looking forward to, along with Patricia Highsmith, reading someone, another female author who's a bit newer, and this more of a horror bent than a crime bent, but looks good, and a fantastic cover as well. So those are my 10 before the end. I didn't actually properly count the books when I started, but I'm pretty sure there were 10 there. Let me know if you're doing this as well. Let me know what some of your books are, if you are. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.